Farida, thank you so much for agreeing to do this video testimonial. So I've been working with at the time he was 5 years old, right? We're part of the January group program. So do you want to start with saying, why did you feel like you needed to join this program? What was it about your 5-year-old son that that made you feel like this program would help him and that you needed help?
Yeah, sure. So we were struggling a lot with my son. Every day was really difficult to get through because he wasn't listening. He was quite aggressive. He was hurting us. He was very unmanageable, I would say. On top of that, he was doing things that were quite dangerous. Like he was every time we took him out somewhere, he would run away from us and into busy roads or in the middle of like a busy shopping centre. So it was really impossible to get day-to-day things done with him as well. So yeah, we were having all these issues.
I remember you also telling me that you started the day every single day with you're trying to get him changed for school and he's hitting and kicking you at the same time. So every single day you started the day with him hitting and kicking you.
Yeah, literally every morning and nighttime. We used to start and end the day like that. Getting up in the morning and getting ready for bed were two parts of a day where I just dreaded it, and my husband would dread it because it was such a struggle.
When did you first notice him like having like difficulties? Was he like born like that, or was it like when he was a toddler? What happened?
No, so I would say he was a fairly easygoing toddler. It was more when he started nursery time, then we started noticing differences in him, and his behavior changed a lot as well. And yeah, we started having a lot more difficulties with him from then.
Okay, so around like age 2.
Yeah, 2, 3, yeah.
I also remember when we first had our first call with me, you, and your husband. Your husband was quite worried that you don't think he's autistic because he can talk already, but it was just the like it was more ADHD symptoms. So he was like really hyperactive, really aggressive, wouldn't settle, bad sleeper. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah. So I had read your book beforehand, and there was a checklist in there for autism symptoms, and a lot of it he didn't meet the criteria. So we weren't sure, especially my husband, he wasn't sure that this course was the right course of action for us. He thought something else more specialized to ADHD might be better.
But I told you that I'd helped children who had an autism and ADHD diagnosis before, and they'd completely got off ADHD medication. They were sleeping better. They were, they'd made big recoveries. And then why did you choose me to work with?
So we had the consultation with the masterclass, and then we had a one-to-one after that. 2 reasons. One, I really enjoyed the book. I felt like a lot of points resonated with me. And it was a really positive message in that there's a lot you can do. Like kids may be born neurodivergent and differently, but there's a lot that is actually available to us to rewire that, which was the first time I was reading a message like that on the subject of autism. And secondly, when we met, I think you just came across as very credible and reliable, and you've got the background to back up what you're saying. So I think I felt I really trusted you as a practitioner as well.
Thanks, Farida. Okay, so what kind of things did we do together? And you were part of the January group program. And one common question I get is, being part of a group program, would I be able to give people individualized experiences on that? What has been your experience with that, being part of the group program? How well did I know you? How well did I know your son? How much did I speak to you?
Yeah, you were constant. You were on hand every time we needed you. You were there. I went through some really dark times, and I would just voice message you, and you would message me straight back. And honestly, thank you so much. It was invaluable for me, and also the changes that have been made in my son since. I would say I actually preferred the group experience because a lot of us were doing the stages at the same time. And so it was really nice to be able to bounce ideas from each other and get help or answer questions, see how other people were finding it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, recommend it.
Yeah, I think the group program, I honestly, I try like pretty much try really, really hard to give everyone that individualized experience on the group program. But I can see the bonds between everyone that gets built with everyone on that same journey for their child, and it's like heartwarming. Like it's nice to have left that as well. Okay, so how fast did you start noticing a difference in your son, and what were you hoping for from the program?
So before we started, when we had our consultation, I think I gave you a list of our objectives for him. This is what we wanted to see. Even when I was giving it to you, I never believed we would actually exceed them. Like I just thought this sounds too good to be true. Because there was a lot of stuff on there. There was even beyond his behavior, it was like I want him to sit down and learn with me and study with me and all this. I just didn't believe it was ever going to happen. So yeah, so we had all these objectives.
I actually remember, I haven't written down what your objectives were, and then you and your husband were saying it, and I was like, yeah, I think we can do this. And your husband was like, really? Is that even possible? And the goals were no more eloping and running off and up and down elevators, decrease his emotional meltdowns and his aggression, which are occurring every single day, improve his focus during homework time, improve his social skills and teamwork, and improve his engagement to be more coherent. So how have you superseded these, or how did you achieve these 6-month goals? What was the experience like for you and your son?
Yeah, so on the initial consultation, you made some recommendations straight off. So we implemented them before we even started our sessions. We saw an improvement in the behavior pretty much a couple of weeks after. And then we went through all the steps together, and it was just making continued improvements. And there was one step in particular that after we did that, everything just seemed to fall into place. So yeah, we hadn't even gone through the whole program yet, but that one step in particular really helped my son's behavior.
You're talking about step 4, take down toxins, the gut detox. Actually, remember when you were doing the gut detox, it was like a really nice message you wrote. You said after the day 2 on the gut detox, you said, I feel like my life is a dream. Do you remember writing that?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because we were walking. So every day I would walk with him into town, and it would be such a nightmare really, because it was constantly shouting after him, telling him to stop, come and wait with me. And on day 2, like I remember recording it and sending it to you because I just almost didn't believe it was real. He was walking in front of me. He was calm. He completely understood where we were going and why. It was such a change in him.
And then what was the experience like at the library? Because you told me that part was like a dream.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I remember now. Yeah. So we went to the library. So bear in mind, I really struggle to get him to stay with me anywhere. He just sees everything as an opportunity to climb and jump and run. So we had been to a library before, and it just ended in disaster, and it ended up with me like dragging him out. We went this time. I don't know what made me do it. I think we were just in town. So we went to the library. And he sat down with me. He brought a book over, sat down. I read the book. Then he went and got another book. We sat down and read it again. And it just felt so surreal because up until that point, my experience of taking out in public had always been stressful, and very like, I don't know, almost you just feel like everyone's staring at you and you can't wait to get out of there. And it we wouldn't take him out because it would just be too stress inducing. So to go from that to what then happened on day 2 of this detox, it just didn't feel real. I felt like I was dreaming or something. It was just, yeah, it was unbelievable.
I remember, and you were like, this makes me so motivated to complete this because I know it's going to work.
Yeah.
And did it work for your son?
Yeah, it absolutely has. So like I said, it's before we finish the program, and we still have a few steps to complete, but it's made such a difference in his behavior. I feel so much more relaxed now. And I also feel like I've got a tool, a, like a toolkit. If he starts getting into his old behaviors, I know how to address it now.
That's the goal of the program. It's called Autism Brain Empowerment. So it's not to make parents dependent on me for the rest of their life. It's to empower them to know how to help all their own children themselves for the rest of their lives. So do you feel like that objective has been achieved?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know exactly how to help him now.
Um, and let's talk more about your 5-year-old. I remember like what right at the beginning of the program, when we were doing step 1 together, step 1, optimize oxytocin, and that involves like doing strategies to help boost your child's oxytocin levels to help them with new learning and learning of new skills. And one of the strategies was like, you do more bonding time and get to know your child better and do more one-to-one bonding time. And then you said to me, Deba, I don't want to sound like a bad parent, but whenever I interact with him, he just explodes. So I don't want to do any one-to-one bonding with him, because if I try to like get involved with his game or speak to him, it's just a violent explosion. I really hope that doesn't make me sound like a bad parent, but like, and then you just told me the truth. That was kind of how did you feel when you said it, and what's he like now? And you must have been carrying a lot of guilt that you felt like you were a bad parent because he was always violently exploding.
Yeah, I remember that. Do you know, a lot of this stuff you forget when you move to the other side? Yeah, so um it's really hard. Like as a parent, you always dream of I'm gonna show my kids this and explain this and go through them with this. So to not be able to have that connection, to not be able to have that bond, even though you love them so much, it's it's really gut-wrenching. Um so it, yeah, I remember, and I remember your advice as well. You said just sit with him, just be with his space, let him get comfortable, and gradually make the improvement. Which is how we did it. Um, yeah, that was the hard time.
Yeah. Um, so and I never asking you like, why are you doing this program? And you're like, oh, I just because he always runs off, I can never feel like I could book a holiday. Have you been able to book a holiday now?
Yeah, so that's changed. So we are going on holiday next year. And honestly, we're really calm about it. And I would not have been able to do that before this program. It would have been we would just been too anxious, and it would have been too stressful to even consider doing something like that. Whereas now with the changes he's made, I'm so confident that we're all going to go on holiday and have a good time, and we're just not going to have the issues that we worried about before.
Do you want to do like a little bit before and after? Like, what was he like on a typical day before, and what's he like on a typical day, like now that you've done the gut detox and other parts of the program?
Yeah, so before we'd wake up in the morning, and he'd literally need someone with him full time to like drag him to the bathroom, brush your teeth. I think at one point I was even having to brush his teeth for him because he refused absolutely. Um, and there was a lot of crying and yelling from my son while I was doing that. And then getting him dressed and he's kicking you. Um, try and give him breakfast and he's like throwing things. It was very full on. Um, Taking him out to go anywhere. As soon as we open the door, he'd be off. He'd be running out of the door down the road. So really, someone just had to be holding his hand the whole time. And even then, he's trying to get out of your grip and he's trying to run off. It was really uncontrollable behavior. Um, the whole of his first year hour at school, we didn't do any homework. We didn't sit down and read any book. It was just impossible, because he just wanted to be in his own world, doing his own thing, and he had no interest in sort of expanding beyond that. Um, yeah, and then uh, bedtime, it was pretty much the same thing again. You're trying to get him dressed for bed and he's just like kicking at you and hitting you and just running away. And I remember, honestly, I remember us saying like how long can we go on like this? Like how can we keep doing this? Because it's just so much stress and pressure all the time. Um, and fast forward to today, and now suddenly he's getting up and he's got his morning chat that he's always had. He's working his way through that independently. If he needs a prompt, you can remind him, and he'll say, "Oh yeah, I forgot," and then he'll go. Um, he's doing his schoolwork. He's bringing his books to me to say, like, "Let's read this." I'm able to sit down with him and go through things with him and help him with it. Um, yeah, he's got more friends. He's got friends this year. He never had that before. He's talking to his friends. He's got much better understanding of when we're going out, where we're going, how to behave, what the context is. That just didn't exist before. Before, everything was just a playground. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can list all the ways that it's improved.
I actually remember saying, okay, the next step is the liver detox, and you said my husband wants to do the gut detox again because it just worked so well.
Yeah. So yeah, because we were contemplating at one point, should we just keep him on a gut detox like indefinitely because it is just going so well. But we haven't had to. We're off the detox now, and I think he's made even more improvement before that. And I think that's all the dietary changes we made coming into effect because it has been almost a year now, like just under. So I think everything is starting to come into effect. And yeah, and we're a bit more relaxed. I know we should be, but we're a bit more relaxed about going on to the other steps just because alhamdulillah, he is just doing so well now.
Plus, you don't have to do them because a lot of parents would say, I'm actually really happy with how my child is now. And, they'll just carry on with their life. You don't have to do the whole 7 steps if your child has made it that amazing improvement already and he's already doing his homework, he's already independent. And another goal that you had was the sleeping situation. So what was his sleeping situation like before, and is he sleeping independently now?
Yeah, before so like everything, someone had to be there to put him to sleep because otherwise he would just jump up and run around and just keep playing. So literally one of us had to be in the bed forcing him to lie down and close your eyes and go to sleep. And it was it could take up to an hour and a half to get him to actually finally to lie down and go to sleep. We didn't try to do any independent sleeping while we were on the course, but after we did the gut detox, we did try it then. And yeah, honestly, alhamdulillah, mashallah, he's going to sleep in his own room by himself. And there is just this understanding of, yeah, I need my sleep. This is why I need to sleep. I can wake up tomorrow morning and do whatever else I want to do. Yeah, I think even like my nieces and nephews that don't have autism, that is something they struggle with. Whereas I'm not struggling with it with my son. He is just going to sleep, which has just been amazing for us as well. So good.
I'm really, really happy for you and for your son as well. And he has a little brother. And I remember you saying they never really played with each other. Are they playing now? Like, what's the relationship like now?
Oh, it's so lovely between them now. Like, I think finally his younger brother can go up and ask him things and say, help me with this. And he will interact with him. And there's a lot of kindness between them. Whereas before, I think we were worried there was a bit of jealousy and a bit of, tension. It's changed their relationship a lot as well.
So good. Okay, so is there anything else you want to, like, were you hesitant, or I know your husband was hesitant before doing the program, but were you hesitant, and like how did you overcome that, like, hesitation?
So I really pushed my husband into doing the program because I was convinced. I was convinced when I read the book, and then when we spoke, I was even more convinced, and I just knew in my gut that we can do something for my son. We can help him, and these things will work. Whereas for my husband, there was an underlying question of if this really worked, wouldn't more people be doing it, and all this kind of stuff. So we read through the testimonials and we watched the videos, and then we just decided to take a chance because it was for my son. And the worst thing that could happen is like he would just be where he's it where he started off. But at least we would have done something to try and help him. So yeah, so we decided just to take a chance, and yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm so glad we did.
So happy. And I actually hear that a lot from mums, and then they say once their child starts making improvements. So I actually hear that a lot from mums, and once their child starts making improvements, the mum usually tells me, "Oh, my husband is now your biggest fan." That's so nice. Okay. Okay. So this might be an easy question, but do you recommend this program for other parents?
Yeah, 100%, definitely. This program works. That's all I can say. I think my hesitation as well was, what if we go through all this and nothing changes? It will change. You will have an improvement. It will work. Just take a chance. That's all I'll say.
So good. Thank you so much, Farida. Anything else you want to share, or like anything else at all?
I can't think of anything. Just honestly, the changes in my son have been beyond what I've expected. It's really changed everything for us. Our home life is different now. Our relationship as a family is different now. Alhamdulillah, it's all just gone really well.
So glad. I'm so glad. And I could hear in your voice, but when like how relaxed you became compared to right at the beginning, where you were more on edge, and then you just felt so relaxed, so comfortable, and your husband seemed so much happier. And I'm just so happy that it's your little boy is doing so much better, and the schools have even noticed that he's doing better, and you've got exactly what you wanted.
But yeah, alhamdulillah, thank you.
Another thing is, I remember when he had that big transformation after the gut detox, I said to you, it's like it's a wonder. Like, some people think their children are really, really naughty. Like, if anyone looked at your child, they say, "Oh, he's really, really naughty." But he actually wasn't naughty. It was just a buildup of heavy metals in his gut. And when you removed all of them just through food and diet only, he just transformed, and now he's good. It wasn't. It was like, it's like weird how little control we have over our behavior sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we put a lot of things into place. There's like now and next and routine chats and this and that. But really, you're just setting yourself up to fail because it's not addressing the underlying cause. And when we did do that, yeah, he honestly is like he just changed overnight. He just transformed. Alhamdulillah.
So he was never really naughty. Oh, that's nice. And what do your family and friends say about him? Because I'm sure they've been seeing him since the summer holidays. Have they said anything?
Yeah, so it was a bit of a taboo subject with my family. I think they all thought my son's got something, he's got autism, but no one ever spoke to me directly about it. But I knew that they were speaking to each other, so that was sort of really hard to take, especially because then I started to imagine his future, with people talking about him, and will he ever go make relationships and have bonds and connections with others, and what kind of life will he have. And now those same people are saying to me like, "Oh, he's so different, what have you done?" And he's so much well behaved and better and everything now. So yeah, it's been a big weight lifted, actually.
Thank you so much, Farida. Thank you so much for your kind words. And honestly, you and your husband were a pleasure to work with. And I'm just really, really, really happy for your son and the effect that this has on the whole family. Like, the parent stress, they can now leave the house. Their dreams can come true. The siblings have a relationship going forward in the future. They don't have to be scared of each other. All of that. So I'm so, so happy that that you've had this big success and that you've agreed to do this video testimonial.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for your support and help during that time.
You're welcome. Anything like for you, Farida.